sorry, that an existing, okay, that's for a ranging market, it just shows that the existing trend is in rest mode due to lack of momentum, depending on which direction it was going to. And then it could lead to a trend continuation or a breakout. You're saying that in a ranging market, because we don't know who will control the market, we need to pay attention to the boundaries of support and resistance. So one of the key takeaways from the teaching on trading a ranging market is in a ranging market, support and resistance is your friend. So if you're going to play in that place, you need to know where the supports are. A support is a place where people started buying from. And when you were teaching us how to mark, said that you should touch 2 or 3 points. Same thing for resistance. The place where people started selling off from. You're going to mark that, mark a place where 2 or 3 people started, where 2 or 3 candles closed at the same place and they're all touching.
All right, great. In fact, you finished work. Okay, thank you so much. At least with that, I'm confident that you must have gone through the notes. So just to recap what you said, a ranging market, last week we talked about the market structure. That was where we started from, and our focus was on ranging markets, even though we mentioned the 3 types, and we said, yes, just like you said, don't go near a choppy market. And we also highlighted how to trade a ranging market. We said you could either buy the support or resistance levels, or you wait for a complete breakout of either the support or the resistance, which I said is much more preferable when you wait for the breakouts, and you could actually enter on a retest. Okay, amazing one, great one. So today, now let me know, is there a noise in the background? Is it vibrating? Let me know, because I'm recording. Or can you hear clearly? No noise. Mr. Maker, be the moderator for this set. Are you hearing a noise in the background?
No noise in the background. It's clear for me. No noise.
Okay, great. So I think we can go on. So today we'll be talking about trending markets. And of course, I'm sure this is not the first time some of us are hearing the name trending markets. Now, when you say something is trendy, I think we wrote a little bit of notes on it that day, right? Did you write anything on trending market the last time? Mr. Maker, you are the moderator. The others are on the road, so you're the only one that can reply with your mouth. I think the rest of the typing. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't say too much on trending markets because that was supposed to be a potential class for that next Friday.
Okay.
Although people couldn't make it.
Yeah. Okay, so good. Now let's go today. Let's write trending markets. Just like the name implies, are markets that create a pattern. Are markets that create a pattern. Are markets that create a pattern of either going higher, or lower. Stop. These are markets that are characterized by patterns of either going higher or going lower. Full stop. Are we together? Notes. Remember, once I say notes, that is important. Notes. A trending market is characterized by 2 moves. Note, a trending market is characterized by 2 moves. A trending market is characterized by 2 moves. A trending market is characterized by 2 moves. A trending market is characterized by two moves. The first move is known as the major move or the impulsive move. The first move is known as a major move or the impulsive move. Full stop. The major move or the impulsive move. While the second move is called the pullback or retracement move. Remember when you retrace your step?
I can plug my small phone a bit.
Who is that? Mr. Daniel, please mute yourself. So the second move I said is called the pullback move or the retracement move. Or, right again, the resting move.
Coach D, can you repeat that?
Okay, I said, oh, from where did you get lost?
The part before resting move.
I said the pullback or the retracement move or the resting move. Did you get that part now? Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so let me just take it for the sake of the person who joined late. Today we're actually talking about, we've talked about market structure the last time, and last class was on ranging markets. Today's class is focused on trending markets. So two things we are going to be covering in today's class. We are going to be learning about the trending markets, and if time permits us, we also learn about how to trade the trending markets. So the first thing I said trending markets. I hope you came with the notes, Mr. Daniel. You should be writing. Mr. Mika, what was the first thing I said in your notes?
Yes, I'm right.
First thing you said is that that trending markets are markets that create a pattern of either going higher or lower.
First
and
up,
that there are two moves.
Hold on. I want him to write. So Mr. Daniel was said, trending markets are markets that create a pattern of either going higher or going lower. Full stop. So I hope you write that. If not, when you play this recording, you can fill in the gap of where you did not write. And we also said they are characterized by two moves. Trending markets are markets that are characterized by two moves. And I said the first move, I think that was when you joined, they have two moves, meaning every trend you see must have two moves. So the first move is what we call the impulsive move or is the major move. You know, when you say something is a major move, it's like the cocoa. When you say something is a major, you know, when you major on a course back in the university, when you say something is your major, any other thing is an addition, but that major is the real deal, right? I hope you agree. Are we still together? If you're still following, drop a 7 on the chat box. If you're still with me, drop a 7 on the chat box. Everybody, if you're still with me, drop a 7 on the chat box. Drop a 7. Okay, good. So how many people are still with me? Okay, good. So, like I was saying, a trending move has, a trend has two moves. There is always the major move. That major move is also called the impulsive. You know, when you do something, I'm explaining now, but the person who did not write, you can be jotting those things down. You know, when you say something is impulsive, when you act on impulse, what happens? It comes naturally. You are not thinking, is it not? Like, is your real feeling when you say you did something on impulse. Now, the same thing in the market, that impulsive move is like the real deal. That's the normal move. That's the direction of the market. That is where the market is headed. Now, the other one, where we call the retracement move or the pullback. You know, when they tell you in school, you better retrace your step. What it means is that road you are going to, that route. You know, when your parents advise you, retrace your step. What it means is that route you are facing is not a good route, is it not? So when you say there is a retracement in the forex market, that retracement is like saying that is not the actual direction of the market. It's just like a temporary thing. So when we say we have a pullback, just like the name implies, when you pull back, you know, I'm not talking the other way around. But when we talk about pullbacks in markets, we actually saying, okay, this is not the real way. Let us still pull back. Or the reason why I call it resting, I like to use words people can relate to it. You know that you, even when you run after some time, what happens? You must rest. Let's say you're going to, from the ground floor, you're going to the fifth floor. If you've ever climbed the staircase, which I believe everybody must have at one point or the other, you'll see that sometimes there is, after the first floor, there's like a small, what do I call it? It's not a bridge, but like a depth area where you can, it's like a landing area where you can pause before you get on the next staircase on your way up. So imagine that landing area where you can pause as a pullback. You don't want to spend time there because that is not your final destination, is it not? So the same thing when you say the market is pulling back, that is not where the market is headed to. So you shouldn't be on a pullback the same way you're not going to stop your destination and stop halfway on a decked area. What you want to do is to face where the market is facing, which is the impulsive move or the major move. If you understand that so far, I know we've not gone deep, but what I just said, it made sense. Drop a 1 on the chat box. Drop a 1 on the chat box. Drop a 1 on the chat box. What I just said now, it made sense to you. Drop a 1 on the chat box. Okay. Good. So that's the first note. So notes, remember I said notes. Every trend has two moves, the major move and the impulsive move. Now, another thing you want to write, which is very important, is 30%. You always see a trending market. Write that in your notes. You always see a trending market. At least 30 to 40% of the time. You always see a trending market at least 30 to 40% of the time in the market. 30 to 40% of the time in the market. What it means is the market is giving you about 30 to 40 times an opportunity for you to make money from this market. First up, who can remember the last class I said you see a ranging market about how many times? I think I said something about ranging market. How many percent was the range? How many times does the range occur in the market? About how many percent?
60 to 70%.
Good, 60 to 70%. What it means is, you know, some people that I won't trade a ranging market. What it means is 60% of the time you're letting money go away. That is what it means. And then, even though I'm a trend trader, we are saying this trend is only available about 30 to 35%. It's not even up to 40 because the remaining 5, Choppy must take something out of it. So what it means is you have this much opportunity to make money in the market. Now, right, we have two types of trend. We have two types of trend. We have two types of trend. We have the uptrend and the downtrend. I share my screen. Uptrend or the downtrend. Sorry, we have the uptrend and the downtrend. First off, I'm sure a lot of us are not new to that. The uptrend and the downtrend. First off. So, excuse me. Now, what I tell people is, okay, how do you know if we have an uptrend or a downtrend? It's simple. By just looking at the charts when you open it, you can tell clearly whether the market is moving up or down. I'm sure a lot of us came to the market with the expectation that the markets will always look something like this, meaning it's supposed to be on a straight line. It's either we are going up or we are going down. So let's say the arrow is pointing somewhere up. This line, arrange them. Sorry, just hold on. So most of the time we're expecting something to look like a linear equation. No, the market does not move up. So let's say we're moving from this point 1 down here, to this point at the top where the arrow is pointed. The market is not just going to keep buying. In fact, anytime you look at your chart and you see that everywhere is just buying straight up and you're not seeing the market doing a pullback or something, it's risky. That is not the best time to join. But when the market goes something like this, move up, come down, move up, come down, move up, come down, then definitely that's a very good trend you want to join. Are we still together? If you're still following, put a 7 on the chat box. If you're still with me, put a 7 on the chat box. Put a 7. Don't get lost. If you're still with me, put a 7. You don't want to get lost in my class. Okay, great. So I said we have two types of trend, right? I said we have the uptrend and the downtrend. So let's take it one after the other. But before we do that, I think there was something I wanted to say. It skipped my mind. Okay, write this down. I think I've remembered. Note. To trade a trending market, you need to identify the beginning of an impulsive move or the major move. Note, to trade a trending market. Now we are gradually entering how to trade it, but I'll still show you how to draw trends. Note, to trade a trending market, you need to understand how to identify the beginning of an impulsive move. If you have to highlight that, very important. So as a trader, what you want to catch is the beginning of every impulsive move. Every impulsive move. When you're trading a trending market, the beginning of every impulsive move, that is where you want to join so that you can catch the move. First up, I've written that. Now, if the goal is to, I'm not saying right yet, but I'm trying to explain. If the goal is to catch the beginning of every impulsive move, the next question should be, how would I know the beginning of an impulsive move, right? How will I know that the market is making an impulsive move? Is it not? So write this down. Note. To identify the beginning of an impulsive move, comma, you need to master how to draw support and resistance. You need to master how to, that one is a note. To identify the beginning of an impulsive move, comma, you need to master how to draw support and resistance. Full stop. Have you written that? If you've all written that down, can we drop a 9 on the chat box? If you've written that down, can you put a 9 on the chat box? Great. So that's like telling you that they said we should trade the impulsive move, right? Now, even if you want to trade the impulsive move, we are now saying you need to know, because it's what you know that you will trade, is it not? So if you don't even know when the impulsive move is starting, you can't trade it. So, and we're now saying to trade it, you need to learn how to draw support and resistance. That's important. We're coming there. Now, write this down also. Notes. Remember, I told you, in case you are new in this class, anytime I say notes, anything I say notes, pay much attention. If you have to put a capital letter, those things matter. So, another notes. Now, notes. So determine whether a market is trending or not. That is, if you even want to know whether that market is trending, talk less of catching it impossible. Note, to determine whether a market is trending or not, you need to analyze from an higher time frame. From an higher time frame. Higher time frame. Don't worry, we're still going to the practical, but let's get the groundwork. An higher time frame. In front of higher time frame, now put in brackets. Monthly, comma, weekly, daily, and H4. H4 means 4 hours. Full stop. Close your brackets. Notice how I did not mention 1 hour. Right? I said from monthly. So even if you're not going to be a monthly trader, but the least you should start from when analyzing the market, at least for now, elementary level, is daily. But as time goes on, by the time you spend 2 weeks with me in this class, you want to shift your focus to weekly. And I'll tell you why later. Then that H4 is the least. So if you go and draw a trend on H1 and you think you are trading the market, you are wasting your time, because most likely that trend is going to deceive you. And later on, you will understand why. So now let's take each of those points one by one. Remember we said, first up, are we done writing? If you're done writing, if you're not in an hold up, you can omit an answer. If you're done writing, let me know so I can proceed. And
We are
now
done. I'm done.
we are done, right? You spoke on behalf of every other person. Okay, so Mr. Mika,
Same, ma'am.
E-money. No, who spoke? Was it Daniel or Mr. Emeka? No way. I'm looking for the active person that will be the class rep of this set. So the first thing we said a trend is characterized by 2 moves, right? Now look at this trend line on the screen. Do you think, let me ask everybody first, do you think what we have on the chart, on the board, is an uptrend or a downtrend? Let me ask everybody. That's
Uptrend.
every other person.
It's
Put it in the
uptrending.
chat box. Uptrend, good. Now, let me explain the 2 moves we're talking about, then I'll show you how to draw a trend line in case you've been having issues. Now, notice how this move, in an uptrend, we're still going to go to type of trend and explain. In an uptrend, the market is expected to keep going up. Yes or no? Yes. Now, I want to ask you, who are the people that always push the prices up? Based on our beginners class we've had before, is it the buyers or the sellers? Who push the prices up? Buyers or sellers? Buyers, right?
Buyers. Yeah.
So what it means is, in an uptrend, the major move has to be the buyers. That's impossible, because the direction of an uptrend is up and it's the bias. So what it means, if I now go on my chart and I say I'm on an uptrend, what I'm going to be looking for in that trend is every buy move in that uptrend. I want to get in at the beginning of every buy move. That's what I want to do in that trend. I want to get in at the beginning of every buy move. Pay attention to what I'm doing on the chart right now. I want to get in at the beginning of every buy move in that uptrend. I'm going to get in at the beginning of all the buy moves. Now, of course, when you buy after some time, remember when you run, you've been running, it's natural, you must rest, is it not? Now, every buy move is going to rest at the next resistance. I want you to picture where you are right now, a 5-story building, where you are seated, either on the road or not. Picture a 5-story building. A 5-story building, which you've been on the ground floor. You know, on your way, if you're going to go to the 5th floor, what's going to happen? You have to break the 1st floor, is it not? You have to break through the roof of the 1st floor. break through the roof of the second floor, break through the roof of the third floor, break the fourth roof to get to the fifth floor. Is enough. Now, that's your first roof you're going to encounter on your way. Is the first resistance zone. Are you there? And that first floor where you climb is where you have the opportunity to rest before you climb the next staircase. Now, that rest that you're going to do in the Forex market, when you get to that roof, is where the resting move happens. And that's why we call it the pullback. Are you with me? That pullback is actually the opposite of the initial move. Remember, if you were resting on your way to the fifth floor, you'll probably be facing opposite direction. Remember, I told you that you're facing the opposite direction when I was doing that example. So what is the opposite of buy? What's the opposite of buy, ladies and gentlemen? What's the opposite of buy? Remember, we've established that in an uptrend, the major move is the buy move because we want to go up. So what is the opposite of buy? Everybody put it on the chat box. What's the opposite of buy? What's the opposite of buy? Good. So what it means is, even though you're on an uptrend, you are going to see sells and buys. Now, this is where most people get confused. you go and see, you say you're an uptrend, you see sellers, you jump in the sell. No, you're going to get lost because remember, when you are retracing your step, you're not facing the direction. That's why you have to retrace. So this sell that is going to happen at this resistance is just a pullback. If you know that you are going to the fifth floor, you won't carry cement or mat and wait around the roof because you know that at any time you can continue on your journey and break this first floor and keep heading up. And that is why, as a rule, I never trade pullbacks. So you too should not be trading pullbacks because it's very dangerous. So what it means is the major move in the market is going to be the buy. I need you to understand the concept before we now go practical. So each of these moves are buy moves. Each time you saw the market go the opposite way at every resistance, and where it's going to sell is at every resistance, because in our rules, we always say that market sell at resistance. I hope you still remember. We buy at support and we sell at resistance, is it not? So what it means is every resistance in an uptrend is where you're likely going to see sellers coming in, meaning the pullback is going to happen around every resistance. If that made sense to you, can you please put a 777 on the chat box? Put a 777 on the chat box, if that makes sense. Put a 7 on the chat box. Good. So what it means is, now look at my chart again. We have buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. But did you notice that along the way, each of these buys were longer than the sells? Each of the buy happened to be longer than the sell. So what you want to do is you want to join the beginning of every buy move. So let's say I joined at this point here. The next point I could have joined this buy was probably around here. And then another opportunity to join the buy. Yeah, again, yeah, there's also another opportunity. That's how to join. So now, first of all, remember I said you need to master how to draw support and resistance. So let's write this down in our notes. A support is, because if you don't master how to draw support and resistance, you can't be a good trend trader. So everybody write this down in your notes. A support is any zone. A support is any zone or area. A support is any zone or area where buyers come into the market and push the prices up. Where buyers come into the market and push the prices up. First up. Where buyers come into the market and push the prices up. First up. Where buyers come into the market and push the prices up. First up. Note, still under that support. Note, it must have happened at least twice in the past. At least twice in the past. So that is what makes it a support zone. It must have happened at least twice in the past. It must have happened at least twice in the past. First off. Are we together? Should I proceed? Should I proceed? If you want me to proceed, put a 1 on the chat box. If you want me to proceed, put a 1 on the chat box. If you miss anything, please call my attention. Okay, great. Why a resistance zone is a zone where sellers come into the market and push the prices down. First up. Sellers come into the market and push the prices down. At least it must have happened also twice in the past. Let me know if I should proceed. Class rep. Oh, Daniel or Emeka, should we proceed? Let me know. Let me know if we should proceed. Okay, good. So write this as a subtopic, how to draw your trend lines. How to draw your trend lines. That's like a subtopic, how to draw your trend lines. How to draw the trend lines. But before we go far, somebody is going to share their MetaTrader. You know, we said we have 2 moves in every trend. And then in your notes, I also said you want, when you talk about trends, start from a bigger time frame, at least daily. For now, let's start from daily. So Emeka, do you want to share, or Daniel, which one of you want to go? Who's going to share their MetaTrader so I can make you go?
I'm on my laptop. I actually joined on my laptop because that's why I never offered to share.
Daniel will do the job. Daniel, do you want to do it?
I did game. Yes.
Okay, good. So I've made you co-host. Let's go to your MetaTrader. Let's quickly observe what we said. Share your screen now. All right, this market is still thanking. Let's go back. Good. I love your chart.
The gold market, Abi.
So neat. This is the way I love my chart. But you're going to remove that stochastics for me so we can see well. Right? Click on that F at the top of your screen. Click on the F at the top of your screen. Okay, good. Badman, you're fast. Okay, great. So now let's check out the chart. Go on a bigger time frame.
Which time?
Let's start from daily. Remember what you wrote in your notes. When you're talking trend, you want to start on the daily time frame. So you said you wish you had what?
No, I wanted to ask which time frame, but you answered it.
Yeah. Okay, daily. Now do me a favor. You see this is your screen. Make it horizontal. Make it horizontal. Everybody pay attention. Whatever he's doing, if I were you, I'll be doing it where I am. So that everybody is marking. You now understand how we draw trend lines. Because I'm going to give you an assignment. If you draw, we'll roll to the answer for me. I return it back to sender. So good. It's on daily. Hold on. Now, when you look at this trend, everybody look at his screen. Let's look at the last part. Bro Daniel, shift that your screen to the left small so that you can see the last part well. Good. Let's stop here. Everybody look at this chart. Do you think this market is moving up or is moving down? Everybody, do you think this is a downtrend? Now, the good thing about the trend, I told you, you don't have to force it. By looking at the screen back, you can tell. Whatever you see at once, you can tell whether, oh, it's been trending down or trending up. So everybody, what do you think? Do you think this is a downtrend or an uptrend?
This is a downtrend.
Okay, Daniel said down. The rest of you, do you think this is a downtrend? The buyer's network is throwing him out. The rest, do you think this is a downtrend or an uptrend? Chairman Mix, do you think this is a downtrend or an uptrend? Okay, they are back. Wait, their network just brought them back. Do you think this is a downtrend or an uptrend? Adebayo that just came on, please put on that your do not disturb so they don't disturb you. God bless you. So now everybody pay attention to this chat. Adebayo, I know you were knocked out. Mr. Bolu and Adebayo and Emeka, do you think this is a downtrend or an uptrend? Okay, Mr. Bolu already answered on the chat box down. Good. Who else? Do you think this is a downtrend? Emeka, what about you? Downtrend. Okay, great. Now, the next thing you want to do before you drag out your trend line is you want to look at the obvious. Remember, I told you a support is where buyers come into play, and resistance is where sellers also sold before, right? So this is what you just want to do. You look at this chart. I think based on him, people use different colors. I use blue for my buy, red for my sells. From looking at the screen, I know the green candles are his buy candles because the market moved up, and the sells are his red. This is what you want to do to mark out the zone. Just look for where his green candles open from in this chart and mark it out. Daniel, you have to stay there.
Sorry.
Okay. I think I'll take it over from here. Sorry, hold on. I'm doing some thing now. Daniel is not reliable. And the Daniel in the Bible was reliable.
Sorry, my calls came into my
It's
phone.
a lie. You are not reliable. Don't explain. Don't explain anything. You are not reliable.
Hey.
So now everybody pay attention. Can you see my screen now? Let me remove all these plenty things. Good. We are in a downtrend, right? Now, in this case, of course, I am using what's it called? Blue candle as my buy candle. Now, this is what you do. You want to look at all the place, like obvious on this chart, you can tell that there was a zone where sales just started from. When you look at the chart at a glance, there's always some zones that are very obvious as they go. Remember, we are in a downtrend. So I want to focus on where I suddenly saw my sell candles open from. That's red candle. So once I identify those places, I'll now go to the past and see if that particular place was a zone. So this is what I'll do. Pay attention in case you don't know how to use this on your next trader. Sorry, I'm going to sign up. Still sharing. Sorry, I'm share now. Pay attention. At this moment, it's getting interesting. In case you don't know how to mark out zones before, pay attention at this juncture. So this is what I'll do. I'll first look at it at a glance. Because I'm on a downtrend, I want to focus on where the sales happen from, where you suddenly see red candles and then the red continue moving down like that. If your own sell candle is color black, identify where the sales black started from, whatever color, just pay attention. So this is what I'll do. I'll tap the screen. I guess you don't know how to mark out zones on MetaTrader 4. Tap your screen. When you tap, look at my screen. You're seeing by the side on my right, you're seeing where they wrote F, then they drew a symbol like circle, triangle, and box. That's where you have different symbols and signs. So I want to go pick up an horizontal line to mark out all those places I feel the sale started from. So I tap the screen once, I click on that symbol where you have the triangle. Once you click, you have something like this. You click on the plus at the top. I now see horizontal line. So I want an horizontal line to mark out the zone. I pick the line. This was the first obvious one I saw. There was a zone here. Now, I don't believe in marking out zones with just one line. So I go pick another line because they'll always be weak. But before I go pick out the line, everybody, can you see that a major sell move started from where I put that line? Yes or no? Can you see this sell move started from here? If you agree with me, please tell me yes, because I can't check your chat box. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
No? Good.
Yes.
So that's one. I'll now go and pick another horizontal line. I still put it there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the highest tip of the candle around that zone, and then the lowest wick, or yes, the highest wick, and then the lowest body. I'm going to mark it out because it's a zone. When you say something is a zone, remember in the last slide I was telling you the market can get to 1.5, turn back, another time 1, but the point is between 1 and 1.5 is a zone. So here too, I marked out the zone. That's one. Another obvious place where sales started from again. I go tap on my screen again to pick horizontal line where I picked it the other time. I go again, plus signs, click on another horizontal. There's another one here. Yes or no? Where I put it. Now, once I put the line, this is what I do. I just check in the past. You can see it sells there from it. In the past, it was also a resistance zone, or in the past, it must have been a support or a resistance. Once you see that zone where you put the line, in the past, it was either a support. It's a support because buy candles open from there. You can see this buy. It opened from there twice, and it's a resistance because sales have happened there once, twice. It's like 3 times in the past. If I still go further in the past, you'll see it was a zone where buyers got from. So it was a previous support that later became resistance. Do you understand what I just did? If you understand, please drop a 1 on the chat box very quickly. If you don't get this point, you're going to have issues later. So put a 1 if you're understanding what I'm doing right now. Put a 1 very quickly. Put it on the chat box. Put a 1 if you're understanding what I'm marking. Put a 1. Great. Did somebody say something? Please repeat. Great. Let me do. Now, when we're on a downtrend, what I want to do, first of all, before I even drag out any trend line, is to mark out the zones. And I said, how do you know the zones? It's simple. Some zones are not very obvious when you glance, but some are very obvious. First, I could see that this market was trending down, so it's a downtrend. So the first thing I want to do is look for, since on a downtrend, you know, anytime the market is going down is where you're selling. Remember, you sell because you want the market to keep going down. So if I'm in a downtrend, I'm going to focus on the sells, first of all. So I'm going to look at my chart and look at areas where obviously my sell candles open from. You can see there was a sell candle that opened from a move here, one. Another move of a sell happened here. Another one here. So if you're not sure of the zone, this is what you go do. Go and pick an horizontal line and place it there to mark out the zone. To pick an horizontal line, I said you tap on your screen once. You see the symbol to your right of your screen. You see where they have the triangle, the circle, and whatever. Click on it. You click on the plus at the top. And then you see horizontal line. You pick one. Once you pick, come and drop it. Just tap the screen where you think that zone was. Like I targeted this cell here because I saw a red candle. My red candle is my sell candle. So because I saw this, I put a line there. After putting a line, I will now make sure to confirm if that zone was correct. How do I confirm? I now look to the left. Left means what has happened in the market in the past. And see if that place I put my horizontal line was a zone, either a resistance zone in the past or was a support. And look at where I placed this line that this sell started from. In the past, you can see a sell candle also broke, so it was a zone. In case I'm not sure again, look at in the past, it was also a support that now later became resistance. So this is a zone. Also in the past, I saw another buy happening from there, meaning it was a support. Remember in your notes, you said support zone is where buyers come in, and it has happened at least twice. That was a keyword. So I checked once, it bought from here and went up. Another time again, another buy went up. So this was a support that later became a resistance, meaning it's a zone. So this way I can know, oh, this is a zone. But I now said you want to put 2 lines, not just 1 line, because it's a zone. When you say something is a zone, you have to mark out. So I go. But before I go, look at this line I put everybody. You can see that at the edge of this line, there is a dot, a black dot at the edge of my blue line. What it means when you see that dot is that, I keep trying to move this. What it means is that line is not static. You've not keyed the line. So as long as that black dot occurs, that line can keep shifting, meaning it can shift down like this. So when I put the line there, to make the line from not shifting, I tap it once. Notice when I tapped it, you can no longer see that black dot at the edge again. If I want to move the line away from there, I tap it again. That black dot at the edge comes out. I can now shift it, just drag on the screen anywhere I want to shift it. So it's not hard. So don't fight with it, just be dragging. But once I want to put it in place, I drop it there and I tap the line to remove the dots. That way it's static. If you understand what I just did and how I went to pick that horizontal line, can you please put a 7 on your chat box? Because you two, you're going to pick that line. Everybody on this call is going to pick the line, and then you're also going to do it in the assignment. So pay attention. Good. Only one person dropped 7. The rest don't know how to pick the line. Okay, good. I'm going to go pick another one so that the rest that did not get it. Now, also, what am I doing again? I go back again. I want to mark out at least 3 or 4 zones on my screen. I go again, tap it once again, go to the triangle again, plus, pick another horizontal, place it there to mark out that zone. Good. I tap it so that the black dots can go for the 2 of them. I've keyed in that zone. I go again to mark out another zone. Remember I told you where the cell started from because we're on a downtrend. I go again, pick an horizontal line, go to another cell. You can see a cell happened from here. So I put an horizontal line there. Now I want to be sure if that's really a zone. Is it a zone? Everybody, do you think where I put my line right now is a zone? Daniel, do you think there's a zone where I put this line? Around this 1874. Do you think there's a zone there? Answer now. Unmute and answer. Do you think there's a zone there?
Yes, yes.
Why?
Because the market touched the previously at the past. It was the support.
In fact, the previous time in the past, even before that one, there was a red candle that sold from here. 1, 2, twice, 3 times. Then later, it was also a support in the past.
It was a support in the past.
Good. So thank you. You can mute yourself. Notice what I'm paying attention to when I'm marking my zone. So I go pick another line, right, and put it there. Because like I told you, I want more than one line. It's called a zone, not one line. So I mark out that whole area. You'll see sometimes some weeks will be shooting out. So I put that box there. I box that area. Good. Another zone. Is anybody seen any other zone apart from the ones I marked out? Yes. So what I do again, I pick another line, plus horizontal. There's another one here. At least you want to mark out at least 3. If you can mark out more, better. You can see where I marked out. I want to be sure if it's a zone. Yes, I targeted this last cell candle, but before then, it was a support in the time past. So the support here. In the past also, it was also a resistance. So that's a zone. Now, what I now do, after I've marked out like 3, I could go on and on. I can still see at the top if I want to still be placing more horizontal lines. I can still keep picking. There's another one at the top here. So you see this one is shaking because I did not key it. So any line you move. Good. Let me stop here. Now, what you want to do after marking out the zone, you now connect a trend line. So the head of all those cells, meaning where those cells started from in those boxes, you put a trend line across it. It's simple. I first marked out the zone. I now drag a trend line. Trend line is horizontal in what do you call it? It's parallel in nature. So I drag that parallel line across the head of all those cells. If it touches at least 2, you are correct. So how do I put a trend line? Before I go into trend line, is there anybody that does not understand how to mark out zones? Because we are not coming to this marking out zones later. Do you understand how I marked out all these zones? I saw that one, a downtrend, looking at the chart. I went and focused on all the cells and marked it out. And I checked the left. Do we all understand how to mark out the zones before I move to the trend line? Okay, good. Everybody says yes. So if you don't talk at this junction, you're on your own. Oh, don't feel free. Feel free. So now I want to
wait. I beg go.
I know some people will be distracted in this time. So
I beg again.
I'm seeing another zone too.
Yes,
I
there's
beg
keep seeing zone, but let's stop there for now.
I beg again. I better start from scratch. I think I missed something. Just like can we redo the whole thing? I think I missed something.
Whenever your mind is putting an attention, if calls will distract you, mute them. So this is what I did. When you look at the downtrend, when you see the chart and it's looking like a downtrend. Now in a downtrend, the major move, of course, will still write that note. In a downtrend, meaning you want the prices to keep pushing down, is it not? Meaning sellers are the one dominating when prices are pushed down. So you look at your chart and look at all the areas where the cells, you are seeing your cell candles, whether I use red for your own color, any color you use, just focus on all the cell candles in that chart and go and put an horizontal line there. So Emeka, which one don't you understand? Is it where to pick the line from or where to place the line? So I know where to go next. Hurry up.
It's where to place the line. Because if I go by what you said that, okay, we go, this one now, you went back in a day trend. We saw that it was trending downwards. So you looked for all the big moves down and you
all
now
the
put your
moves
line.
down, meaning all the cell moves, not just any move, all the cell moves.
Yeah.
Remember I told you at the beginning of the class that every trend has impulsive 2 moves. Did you notice? Everybody look at the charts. Are you seeing something that looks like a sell move? And after each sell move, you see sometimes a buy move also in that same trend.
Yeah,
a buy move. You see a sell move, you see a buy. Now, each of the buys in this trend were actually the pullbacks, but the major move were these sells because you're on a downtrend. So you are not supposed to trade the buys in a downtrend. You should be looking for the sells because that buy can suddenly reverse, and I'll explain that one later. But Emeka, now let me take it again. Since I saw that we're moving down, then I'm looking to sell. So I'll go and look for the areas, even looking at your chart, some areas are clear. I'll just look for where the sell move started from. Sell candles, big sell candles that now resulted in something that looks like a move. Like this, there was a move down here, right? There was another sell move, sell move, sell move. So where that sell started from is where I focus on. What do I do before I drag out a trend line? I tap my screen, pick. Please help me remember. I pick an horizontal, I tap my screen where I have the symbol. I pick it here, plus horizontal line. I put it anywhere. You can see. I put it here because there was this sell candle, this last sell candle that happened there. But even if I wasn't sure, I said look to the left. To the left, I can see that there was another sell, meaning this place is not your resistance. To the left, a buy also happened from there. So any zone you mark out, you must see that in the past, is either that zone was also a resistance or a support. And a support means where buys started from in the past, at least twice. So this was one buy sitting on top of this same line. This was another buy that started on top of this same line. So I can tell that, okay, that zone, good, that's a zone, right? So I put another line there to make it so. See how I click and pick up those 2 lines. And I say, anytime you put the line, if you don't want the line to keep shifting, so that when you come back tomorrow, you still see the line. Look at my horizontal line on the screen. You're seeing a dot, a black dot at the edge. Anytime you see a black dot, I said that line is not keyed. You've not made it static. So you tap it. Once you tap it once, that black line goes away, meaning that line is now static. So even if you be like, keep moving your screen, you still see the same line in the past, later, in the future. That's one. I want to mark out another zone. I look for where, because with the downtrend, I'm focusing on all the cells. So I see another cell broke out from here, long bills cell candle. What I do, I go again, tap my screen, pick another horizontal line, and place it there. Remember I said make it 2, as if you're boxing. So you put the first one at the highest wick, you see there, and the other one probably on the lowest body to mark out a zone. Once I do that, I tap it to remove those black dots. I keyed it. So Emeka, did you see how I just marked these zones right now? Do you understand now?
Yes, I think I do now. I think I do.
So what I want to do is to connect at least 3. Please, in this class, if you don't understand anything, feel free. This is we adult education. Don't go and be feeling shy so that we don't go far, right? So once I've done that, I've been able to see like 3 points to connect. What I will now do, I'll now go and bring out where they wrote trend line, pick the trend line and put it across each of those cells inside the box I marked out. You know, I focused on some cell candles like this. I focused on this cell candle. I focused on this last cell candle when I was marking. I also focused on this cell candle here. So when I go and drag my trend line, I want my trend line to go parallel across each of those cells, touching it. What you need is just 1 and 2 touches for a trend line to be valid. The more touches you have, the better for that trend line. So I now go tap the same screen, the same place where I see symbol, tap it. This time, when I click my plus, I'm not going to pick horizontal. I'll go and pick where the road trend line. You can see it. So when I pick the trend line, I will come, I can start anywhere from any of those sell points. I could do this. You can see, I put it there, then I start dragging across all those zones I marked out. See how I'm dragging it. Now, this line is parallel, is it not? It has touched the head of those two red candles. I could drag it. Now, if I want to drag, you can see dots. Notice how this trend line is formed right now. There is a dot at the edge, the two edges, the top and the bottom. Meaning, if you want to drag to the top, you drag through that edge, that circle at the edge, you drag to the top. If you want to move it from the middle, you drag the one from the middle. If you want to move to the bottom, you drag the black dots at the bottom. So now I want to drag this trend line to the top to connect that first zone I marked out. So this is what I'll do. I'll put my hand on that black dot, on the black dot, right? On the trend line, and I drag. I also drag it to touch that red line, the wick. In fact, anytime you see a wick, put it on the wick. So you can see this trend has touched this and also touched that one at the top. So at least I have two sell points touching this trend line. Did you see what I just did? Two sell touching the trend line. Now, anytime your trend line is bent, looking woggle, is not straight, is a line, the first state. But anytime it's parallel, you are good to go. But if you are the one bending and bending, is a line. Now, to draw the lower trend line, this is what I do. You see the opposite side, the second trend line, you are now going to focus on the buys. The first one was where the sell, that's the impulsive move started from. Remember I said two moves, impulsive and pullback. So the trend line did, because we're in a downtrend, the sell is the main move. But when I draw the second, is where each of the pullback started from. And what's the pullback in a downtrend? Buys. So I now also watch out, where are all these buys? Where did this buy start from? I'm gonna pick an arrow and point to some of these buys. And I drag a trend line through them also. Look at, there was one major buy that started here. There was another one already marked here, right? So let me put an horizontal line also on this particular last buy here to make the trend line easy for us. Remember what I'm doing when I want to draw a trend line. I didn't start from trend line. I start by putting horizontal. So I now focus on the buys now. There's a buy that's there here. So I put two lines also to mark out the zone from there. So now I have at least, let me pick an arrow. Sorry, I just need that arrow to be able to move around. Good. I have one buy here. You can see it. The buy move went up from there. Another buy right here. Notice this one is already touching the horizontal line I created before, right? And most likely another one around here. That's where those wicks started from. So what I also want to do is to pick an horizontal line, a trend line, and also connect all the buys inside those boxes I marked. So at least you must have two for that trend line to be valid. So I go back to that shape, click on trend line also, and move it across. You can see it touches the wick of this one. I drag it again, touches the wick of the next buy. You can see my line is very parallel. Are you not liking what you're seeing on your screen? See the way chart is clean and neat. Do you like what you see, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes. So
that's how to mark out a trend line. Today we are not focusing on how to
sorry, man. Can you repeat the where you mark the downtrend line, please?
If anybody goes away when I'm teaching and you come back and tell me to repeat, I'll not repeat myself. I'm going to take it again now. So if you're in this class and you're going to be going off, me myself, I'll help you. I'll just throw you out and then I'll send you the recording at the end. What I teach is simple enough. Now, I said for the lower trend, I'm repeating again, focus on the buys. You know, when we're selling, when we're drawing the upper trend line for the sell, we're focusing on the sells. But for the lower trend line, we're going to focus on where the pullback start from. And remember we said pullbacks means the opposite, meaning the opposite of a sell on a downtrend, the pullback is going to be the buy moves. So I simply placed horizontal lines. You know how to place horizontal line. I showed you before. Place horizontal lines on the buys. You can see I placed one here. In fact, this one was already a zone we marked out in the sell. It was still the same support zone, right? I'll tell you something about that later in the next class. So what I did was just put an horizontal line across the buy areas also, which most cases you would have drawn it when you also marked out the resistance. This same zone I marked out for the sell, looking to the left was where the buy started from. This same zone I marked out for a sell, looking to the left was also where a buy started from. So all I did was just put an horizontal lines on the buys, where each of the buys started from. This was one, this was another one, two. Do you get now? So this is also another buy aside from there, three. Daniel, did you get that part now?
Yes, I got it.
So once I do that, I go pick my trend line and drag it across those buys. Inside those boxes, I connect the buys. I ensure my trend line is placed just below the buys, as if it's touching their wicks. If they have wicks under, better. It's touching them, or if it's just the candle sitting on it. So now, after I dragged it, you can see there were 3 points. This is one that this buy touched this lower trend line. This is another second one. Then there was another one to the top also. So that's how you know. So at least you must have at least 2 for you to say it's a trend line. Now look at my trend line. It's not bent, it's straight, it's parallel. Anytime you force it, if it's looking something like this, pay attention. See, just know that there's something wrong with what you drew. You can see what I just did. No longer looking straight. You can tell it's looking bent. So just know that there's something you did wrong. So you want it as parallel as possible, as long as you have at least 2 connecting points. If I drag it to the top, it will still touch the top of this cell that happened at the beginning. You can see that was where this downtrend started from. That was the very tip of it. So this trend is a very strong trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Touches below too. So who understands how to draw a trend line now? Do you understand it? Do you understand how to draw this trend? Does anybody want to practice what you just learned now? So that you share your so that you're making the mistake I'm correcting you now, others will learn. Do you want to go and join on your phone and share that screen so that you draw now? Who wants to go first?
Me.
Who is me? Emeka, right?
Daniel.
Okay, good. So let me. I didn't hear that to Emeka.
I said I'm using my laptop, so I can't share. So I'm just like,
okay, so let Daniel go. Every other person pay attention to what Daniel is going to do. Just follow the rules. Mark out zones first, then connect the trend line. You will see your trend lines will always be neat than people who try to drag the trend line first. So Daniel, I've made you co-host. Please share. Okay, now go to another currency. Don't use the same thing I use. Pick out, go to Euro USD.
Okay.
Daniel, don't move faster than the rest. Up chat. Remember, note how we are starting from daily. So when is your turn? If you go and chat out 1 hour for me and send, I will mark you 0. Good. Everybody pay attention. What do you think this trend is? Focus on this last move. Do you think this is an uptrend or a downtrend? Do you think this market has good? So the next thing is pick an horizontal line and try to connect the cell, the beginning of every cell. Good. You know, this is the first time. Okay, so just pick horizontal, put it anywhere you see. You don't have to mark out every zone, but the obvious ones, the ones that are very obvious when you look at, that's the one you want to mark out. Good. I love that. Everybody, do you think Daniel is right? Yes, there is a cell that wicks that place. And in the past, when looking to the left, there was also a support on that line. We need candles bought up from there. So that zone is superb. Put 2 lines there, sir. Never mark out 1 line. You put 1 on the wick, put another one probably. Just always box the area. Horizontal. Great. So market can touch anywhere in that zone and sell. It doesn't have to be the first or the upper. It could even be in the middle. Any area there, it's a sell area. That's all. That's one. So, Daniel, you did not key that line. I emphasize that anytime you see a dot at the edge of your line, that line can shift. So tap that lower. Good. You're seeing well. Do we agree with where he's placing it? Anytime he plays, just check. Did sell candles come out of there? To the left, was there a support or also a resistance? That way, you'll be sure. Good. That's okay. Good. The next one, put another zone. Look for another zone.
I want to try and bring it down.
The screen?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this okay?
Just tap it, then shift it. Now, keyboard lines is okay. The next. Daniel is moving fast, Lena. Okay. All right. Anytime you mark, just check to your left and see whether that thing you mark is okay. Once to your left is fine, you're good to go. Daniel. Now focus on the okay. Shift it down. There is one that needs to cover where that buy started from. As if the buy candles are sitting on the zone. That's how you get it. Now you focus on yourself, the left. Okay, it's good. It's good. We're good. We're good. We'll manage it. So at least Daniel has marked out 3 zones, right? If we still want to go, there's another one at the top. You want to mark out, but I think we can. Yeah, just stop on that one at the top and you are fine. Your background is noisy, mute yourself. Good. Daniel, that one is too big. Stop there. Now notice, everybody pause. Daniel, pause. Don't pick anything. The last trend zone is marking. Who noticed what happened before that trend? Remember I taught us in our last class. Daniel, you need to watch that video because you were not here. I told you that at the beginning of every trend, you will most likely find a ranging market. Who remembers? I said a ranging market, the market, whenever a market is ranging, it's trying to tell you 2 things. Number 1, it could be a breathing from the previous trend. If Daniel should shift the screen, you'll see that before this range. Can you see the range I'm talking about? Wait, Daniel, you've gone too far. Shift back a little. Before that short range, shift back. Shift, like come back again as if you're going towards your right back. Daniel has gone in this way. Good. Now, just before, it's okay, Daniel. Now, everybody pay attention. Just before this downtrend, can you see a range, a short range? Between that line, it marked 1.1416. Daniel, don't pick anything now. Hold on. Now, Daniel, key those lines. I'm seeing dots, black dots. Daniel, stop. What's this now? Yeah, good. Now, everybody pay attention. That line
Yes, sir.
14610.
Yes.
The zone between 14610 and
Yes.
11772. Everybody pay attention. Just before that zone, inside that zone, are you seeing a ranging market? Did you see the market?
I did class now.
Before it started moving to the left, before it started trending down. Did you see the range, everybody? If you can see the range, put a 1 on the top.
I did class. I did online class.
If you can see the range, put a 1 on the chat box, everybody. If you can see the range I'm talking about, put a 1. 1 is what I asked you. Put a range. If you saw the range, put a 1. Good. Now, remember what I told you about a ranging market. I said 2 things. A range is a period of resting in the market. It could result in a new trend altogether or the continuation of an existing trend. Before this trend and that range, we're still having a downtrend before the market broke out and started ranging. Rested, it was like this range. Remember the assignment I gave us the last time? I said, mark out the range and tell us whether it was a continuation or a reversal. In this case, this range was still a continuation because the market was trending down before. It started resting, ranging, and then it still continued way down. So remember, never forget how to trade the range. I always tell you, wait for the breakout of that range, which in this, or you buy at the support and sell. Now, notice anybody that was buying at the support and selling at the resistance, they would have probably made money. But at some point, when the range broke out below, it broke below this 1.1772. You can see the market came back and retested that line. And that was where that sell started from. So you need to be able to connect this range to also a trending market to understand what the market is saying very well. So now that Uncle has marked out all our zones, what we want to do is to go pick a trend line and connect it to the head of all those cells. Not even, it might not touch everything, but at least two. But if you have one that touches like 3, 4, better. So, Mr. Daniel, tap your screen, pick up a trend line, and put it across the head of all those cells. Those are your cell candles. Now drag it. You picked it, just drag. The dots, that dots. Good, just drag. Drag. Good. Wait, you don't to drag. No, so just. Now you want to move it to the top. So you drag that black dot at the beginning. Good. Oh, I'm super impressed. You can see, guys, this is touching more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each time it touched that trend line, upper trend line, did you notice how the market sold from those zones? Each time it touched that trend line, can you see the market went down right after that? The next class one will teach how to trade a trend. It will come into play. So Daniel, this your trend line is still having dots. You need to tap it to remove those dots. That way you've keyed. Good. Now the next thing is you want to draw the other side. Remember I told you when you're drawing the other side now, you focus on the opposite, that's a bias. So I think there's still a zone you probably need to mark out. Horizontal line. That's the lowest one, the lowest buy. The others I think have been marked out for you already. So there is a buy below that needs to be marked out. Just look to the left. Now you're good. That's the zone. So put 2 lines there. Good. Hurry up, Daniel. Put 2 lines. I think the rest have been marked out. So now, I hope everybody's paying attention. See what he's doing. Key those lines up. And one of them is too far. It's too far. Okay, but you're correct. So still key it. Just key the lines. That your trend line is still showing black dot. Now go and pick another trend line. You remove the dots. Now go and pick another trend line. Now you want to put the lower trend line. So connect it to all those buy areas inside those boxes you mark out. Good. Drag it off. So even if it's a week of the time it's touching, no wala. As long as later you can come and readjust very well. Good. So readjust it. Good. At least it's okay. Even if you can't see that top, but it's fine. Key those lines. At least I can tell you the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even 4. As me if you drag it, good, you stop there. 3 weeks must have got to this trend line. Right? That lowest one, the third one, is okay, it's okay. You can see his line very parallel and neat. Stop there, sir. Don't go far. Very neat, right? That's how to mark out your trend. So the assignment I'm going to give everybody, our class is 1 hour for the minute, and this is 6:70. Our next class will now go on how to trade both the uptrend and the downtrend. So the assignment is this, everybody. You are going to go on GBP USD. You mark out the trend. When you send the trend, you tell me whether it's a downtrend and uptrend. You mark out the trend. You mark out GBP USD. You mark out USD CHF. GBP USD, USD CHF, NZD USD. That's how many? 3, right? GU. You mark out GBP JPY. No, though, I won't repeat them. How many have I mentioned now? How many?
4.
4. Let me make you 5. Then you mark out.
The final pair, Coach G. I didn't get the last pair.
What's the last pair, Daniel? Who was writing? Even me,
GBP, JPY, GBP, JPY.
Okay, thank you. That one.
Then
GBP, JPY.
you mark out CAD JPY.
CAD,
CAD
JPY.
That's fine.
Coach, yeah, these are your favorite pairs.
No, not necessarily. Me, I made as time goes on, don't worry. You will know that one of the things to be successful in the market is not to trade plenty pairs. It's just like you when you're dating one girlfriend. Sorry, I'm not saying go have if you're married
Ah,
couple.
Coach D, you're playing in muddy waters, so calm down
No,
first.
there's
You're
no
giving
like
us
what
bad advice.
make the class sing very well. Don't worry, these are not facts. If you're dating one partner, you know there's everybody there's a level you get used to the person. You know what the person can do. You're used to the person's behavior. Unlike when you have like 10 different girlfriends, to study each and every one of them and be very particular about them will be difficult, right? The same thing with market pairs. In fact, it's a lot of focus. Anything you focus on over time, of course, it will expand. You get better on it. So I don't take multiple pairs, even if all of them are analyzed the same way. No, I pick like three, four maximum. All my pairs revolve around those. If you see what I post majorly, plenty of it, 70% of the time is on gold. Then on good days, you'll see probably Euro JPM, Euro USD GU inside, and some additional days you might find USD CHF or USD JPY. Other pairs, there are pairs you never see me trade, Euro AUD, no matter how much you dash me, you never see me in that market. You know, Euro card, GBP card, I don't trade them, right? So because the ones I focused on, I mastered. Some of those pairs, their market are very choppy. I remember I told you don't trade choppy markets. So I focus on the ones that are moving when the world is moving. And these pairs I actually focus on are actually the major pairs in the world. Everybody is going to Europe. You understand? Great Britain. So there's always volume in such markets because there is demand for them. That is what causes this buy and sell, you see, up and down. So any question on what we learned today? Do you have any questions?
Coach, I want to ask a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Now, let's say now, as I've marked these zones now, what if the market does not touch the trend, the support, but touches the trend line? Is this still okay to take it for a sell?
Don't worry. When we enter out to trending markets, you have your answers ready, and that's our next class.
Okay.
The question was supposed to be on what we've discovered so far or learned so far today. So in our next class, you can write it on topic now. It will be how to trade trending markets. So then we'll now focus on how to
Coach,
trade them.
this assignment, say the chart, the marking up is going to be on daily,
so on daily. The lowest chart you should ever send to me is H4, but then I don't like starting from H4. H4 will blind you. As you're seeing daily right now, Sally, if you go on H4, you might have been seeing buys, and you now get confused. And you think you're on an uptrend, meanwhile you're on a downtrend. Do you get? So when we go into how to trade it, I'll tell you what H4 is for and what daily and weekly is for. So next class, ladies and gentlemen, we'll discuss how to trade trending markets. But today is first how to draw your trends and identify or know what the trending market entails. Any question, ladies and gentlemen? Now for my assignments. When I give assignment, please, I don't want it on that day we're having our next class. You start rushing. No. John, that is only this set I'm teaching. So I'll be having some other things. The latest, if you don't want to forget anything you just learned, within 24 hours, always do your assignment. Meaning, if you can't do it today, this evening, probably you're busy, at least tomorrow. Latest tomorrow afternoon, your assignment should be in. You don't have to wait till Thursday before you send your assignments. By then, you might have even forgotten how you was picking this line or keying those dots. If you send your charts, and those horizontal lines, I'm seeing dots, black dots, you are in soup because I'll know you did not key it and that thing can shift and you won't know where to enter again. So you need to remove the black dots. Don't worry, I know it's your money, but I'm still the teacher. So the goal is to help you get better, right? So please do your assignment later tomorrow. Let's have it in. Any other question? In the absence of no question, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Did you get value? If you got some value, put some value on the chat box. Thank you. If you got value, put a value on the chat box. If you not get value, don't worry. You'll get value some other time. Nobody put value. Nobody got value. It's okay. We'll soon see the next class. I'll show you Pepe. Double assignment, triple
I
assignment.
put value.
The rest did not get value now. No problem. I know the people that did not put value. So Mr. Maker did not get value. Mr. Bolu did not get value. I foresee you two did not get value. It's okay. No problem. All right. Thank you. And have an amazing evening, everybody. You not get the assignment. Somebody should help with this assignment. I said, GBP, you mark out the trend the same way we did in class. Mark out the chart and draw the trend for me and screenshots. All those assignments I did, your job is to mark out the trend in them. The same way we marked out in this class right now. Mark out the zones, draw the trend, and send them. Where were you? Did network kick you out? GBP USD. I think I mentioned GBP JPY, CAD JPY. Sorry, we're still on. Daniel has gone. Who can remember the assignment? Emeka, which pairs, please? Somebody is asking. Okay, later on I'm typing GBP USD, NZD USD, GBP JPY, CAD JPY. I can't remember the last one, but you can try this USD CHF. Map out those 5. Screenshot now because I'm going to end the code now. All right. I don't want the recordings to be exceeding 1 hour 30 minutes max. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. Have an amazing evening.